All right, guys, we're currently practicing. Tabby is at work. She's just on the couch. But when the baby comes, the baby will always be right next to her. So I've intentionally moved the bassinet right here. So he's going to be right here. So we'll... There's son, there's mom. Practice getting the baby out, please. 2 hands, come on. That's not how you pick up a baby. 2 freaking hands.
Hi, son. I grew up with the role that I'm supposed to be. So I grew up with my mom. I'm gonna be a mom. Avery didn't grow up with his dad, and yet he's expected to be a dad. And I think with that, I don't have a lot of expectations because I also lost my father young of what Avery should be, and it's almost an opportunity for Avery to be the father that he wants and desires and that God has planned for him without any predetermined expectations of what he should be.
So you've had no prep for this question, but if you were to give a promise to what kind of mom you want to be and are going to be to our son, what would that look like? What is the ideal mom for you? And how do you see yourself taking care of him? How do you be a good mom to him? How are you going to be a good mom to him?
I think my number one promise and the number one thing that I can control for our son, for you, is my ability to pray. So I promise to always pray for you and pray for me as a mother. And I think as I learned what a mother is, I had a great mother. Avery had a great mother, has a great mother. We have great mothers. And my desire to be, what I desire to be as a mom is I just want to be loving. I want to love you, and I want to unconditionally love you, but I know as a human that's not really possible. So through that, through my prayers and God-fearing, actions, my goal is to love you, to have fun with you, to push you, to challenge you, and to love your father so that you can see what that looks like in a marriage, and to surround you with other individuals that will keep you safe, that will protect you, that will love you and support you.
It's all good. That was good. That was really good. What is something that you want him to know about you right now? The person you are right now and where you're at in life right now.
I want you to know that I am working really hard, and really hard just in terms of dealing with having you, growing you in my body, and having the things that I do have with me medically. But I'm working really hard to go to work every day, to stay awake, to still give your father attention. And I'm working really hard just to bring you into this world, which I don't want to ever lose that desire that I have to continue to serve you. And right now, I want to ensure that not only am I loving you, but I'm loving your father. And I know our world will change a little bit, but I want to make sure that the love that your father and I have now will be present when you guys are 10, 15, 30 years old. And so I'm working on making sure that we grow in the Lord and with our communication and our expectations of each other as we go into parenthood. some of my best friends, I want them to know, even as we go through these changes of life, and I want to stay I want my personality and my characteristics to stay same within those relationships as we grow, but I want them to know that I'm always on their team and always supporting them.
What is something that you want him to know about being a good man? So like when you think about the men in your life, you think about me, your husband, and just like what that looks like, what do you want him to develop as? Like, what do you want him to know you see in a good man?
I want you as a good man, as a godly man, I want you to know, like your father, where your identity lies, and ensure that you as a male, as a human being, are not put on this earth to satisfy anyone other than God, and to not fear. Your father is a very fearless man, and I want you to have that same ambition and confidence because you know what you're rooted in, just like your father. And I want you to treat everyone. You're going to learn your father will treat everyone, no matter who it is, even if he's met them once or twice, as a friend, as if he's known that friend for 10 years. And that's what I want you to learn from your father.
Well, one day he'll be a husband. How do you want him to treat his wife?
I want you to treat her with patience and kindness and have humor. You may not be funny. You might be funny, but humor is important, and it is probably what you'll see a lot in the household as a Ford is laughing, smiling, jokes, not taking things too seriously. And I think that patience and humor and love will help you a lot in your marriage.
And then this is something that we want him to watch, obviously, when he can understand it. So hopefully around 10 years old or whatever that is, but we want him to look back and watch this, and we want him to have siblings. As the oldest, what do you expect out of him?
As of right now, I don't think I have many expectations of you as the oldest. I think those will be formed in time. However, I don't want to expect too much out of you just because you're the oldest. I know that we're probably going to be the most strict with you because you're the oldest. However, and your father and I want to do a good job at not putting expectations on our children. Even when we might talk about sports a lot, our expectation is not for you to excel in football or basketball or any type of sport. So I want to put an expectation of you of loving. I want you to be loving to your siblings. I want you to still be competitive with your siblings. And I think throughout time, you will mold that identity as however you want to as the oldest. I'm not the oldest. I'm the baby, so I might not be able to relate much. However, maybe that'll work out really well.
Yeah, I think because these are we don't obviously know anything about him or what he's like, but we want him to get a sense of our expectations can always change depending on what he needs. But it's those core things that won't change, right?
Yeah.